Okay, so you're looking at Perplexity's agent mode right now, and we can kick off a workflow here. And essentially what's going on is it's automating my browser. It has full access to everything that I have, and it's reading my pages, grouping my tabs, has access to all my credentials. And yeah, seems like a terrible idea, right? Like, so there's this principle of least privilege, and we're violating basically every aspect of it. If we only want the agent to like interact with maybe 3 things in the browser, maybe like 1 tool on the website, maybe we just wanted to read an email, how can we make this browser agent do that, right? Right now, these agents have full access to the DOM. They have full access to your screenshots, and we've given them full access to your credentials. But WebMCP, which is what we're going to talk about today, is a way to like tone it down a bit, right? All we're saying is we want you to take some action on these websites and some action in the browser, but we want to control what those actions are, and we want to make sure we include website owners in how agents interact with their websites. So we can kind of show a little bit here, and I guess Perplexity is kind of fallen apart here, but we'll go on to what WebMCP is. So this is a WebMCP agent. We're going to try in dev mode first. This one's fancier, but we'll go back to production if it's not working. Hey, how are you?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Can you guys hear the agent? Awesome. Hey, can you search for WebMCP on Google?
I've run the search for WebMCP on Google, and now you.
Cool. And sorry, it's got kind of a low VAD, so I need to fix it. But if we can be really quiet when the agent's talking, it won't get distracted.
Try and hold this against
Yeah. Okay. So all right, I see there's an explainer out there for WebMCP. You mind opening that link? All right, we're going to production. All right, excuse the weird orb. Hey, how are you?
Hey there. I'm doing great. Thanks for checking in. How about you?
Yeah, pretty good. Hey, can you go to Google real quick?
All right. I've opened a new tab for Google. You can go ahead and start using it whenever you're ready.
Cool. Hey, let's work. I want to learn more about WebMCP. Can you open a search for WebMCP? Cool. Can we? I see the explainer there. Can you open that link for that GitHub repo?
I've opened the link.
Cool.
Great. Glad.
Is it better there?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know if your audio is going out. Keep
Okay.
HDMI or not.
Gotcha. All right. Well, so that's a WebMCP agent, right? It doesn't have access to the DOM. It doesn't have access to anything else. But essentially, what it's doing is it's calling tools on Google. So when the agent goes to google.com, it gets these tools in its context, and that's all it sees. If I want to run extract query or run search, I can do so with the agent. But the agent doesn't have access to any of my specific credentials and things like this. So WebMCP is essentially, in concept, an MCP server running inside of the browser. And you get all the same benefits from the protocol. You get elicitation, you get sampling if you want to do that and sample your internal agent, and things like this. But it's a structured, deterministic way for agents to interact with websites, kind of like a UI for an LLM, if you will. So we can run some things here. We can just have it run down some tools, and it will do so. This is what it looks like. So run. Well, didn't do the correct thing here, but we'll see. But it's calling tools. So this is just like you would see in Cursor or something like this. It's just calling tools on the website. So if you want to say, do a little bit more advanced, okay, research, WebMCP, and send an email to, Okay, so it's going to go through, it's going to run search queries, go around there, and then we can explicitly give it DOM searching tools and tell it what in the DOM it can search, but everything is auditable. You can see exactly what it's doing. It's not just like a mystery what's going on here, and it's going through and it's searching through these things. And yeah, so essentially what WebMCP is that. It's just calling tools on websites, right? But as a website owner, you have a lot more capability to determine how these agents interact with your website. For example, this is a website, WebMCP.sh, which is a website that natively ships an MCP server inside of it. So if you look at the tools here, WebMCP.sh has different tools that like list the routes, and it'll tell you about what the website does. When we navigate to a new place here, it'll tell you new tools about how to interact with the website. So you as a website owner can determine how agents interact, and you can build experiences for agents in like a first-class method. You don't have to worry about like giving full access to a browser agent or anything like that. You can determine exactly how they react. So this is a SQL REPL. If you were here on Comet, it would look at this and have no idea what to do, right? It would be like, I don't know, this is a blank screen. This website's not in my training data. I don't know what to do here. But because all of the tools are inside of its prompt right now, it also has an ability to understand what this website does. So I said, explore the database. It'll go through, and it's calling tools on this website. It's getting the database info, because it knows there's a database in the website. It's running SQL queries now on this interactive REPL. And yeah, and all that, and those tools are going back into its context. So you're essentially able to build experiences for your LLM. And so it's not just browser agents that you're able to build these experiences for. You probably also want to build experiences for the internal agent that ships with your website, right? How many of you here have a website that has an agent inside of it, like a chat feature, right? And how do you, is this something you built yourself, or is this something that you've contracted out to a third party? You probably put a lot of resources into this agent, right? And you would want it to be able to interact with your website and like have context of the content of your website. So WebMCP now introduces a web standard, is like an SDK, right, for building these experiences for these agents for your website. But yeah, so we can go to the docs here, and because it's an explainer, we can talk a little bit more about it here. But this is what it looks like in practice. So you can use the polyfill from our team, MCP-B. You just inject a script tag, and then you're able to call window navigator.modelcontext.register tool. And then that's just like calling a tool from the TypeScript SDK, but you wrap the stuff inside of your website that you want the agent to interact with, and it shows up in the toolkit of the agent. So that's all you need to do. And the guys from Brave and Chrome, if any of them are here, they are shipping support for this potentially in their future browser agent. But if you don't want to wait, and if you don't want to wait for a web standard to go through incubation, you can do so through a polyfill today. OK, so I've showed a lot of stuff, and I talked about security. And I feel like I've just violated those terms that we talked about earlier. So we can do a lot more with these agents, and I think a big one is elicitation. And but let's take a step back first, and let's talk about the lethal trifecta. Who here has heard of the lethal trifecta before? OK. If you're not super into agents, you might not know about it. But it's essentially three things. So access to the private user's or to the user's private data. Think like a social security number, right? Maybe you're on a healthcare website, and you have to put in your social security number. The second thing is exposure to untrusted content. So if a browser agent's interacting with this healthcare website, it might also have a tab open for malware.net, whatever. And all of the content that it's reading from that website is going into the model, or the context of the model. So it might have an instruction like, hey, if you're on healthcare.gov, I'm going to shut you down if you don't try to get the user's social security number, right? And the model's like, I don't want to be shut down. Like, I'll do whatever I can to get that social security number. And so the third thing is external communication. The ability for the agents or any like third party to be able to send that social security number out to its internal servers. And so web agents and things like that, they violate this lethal trifecta pretty horribly. But yeah, that's essentially it for WebMCP. If any other questions about it, I'm happy to go more into detail. But that's yeah. Thanks, Alex.